I've never used one, so I'm not even going to try tonight. I want to thank you for inviting me out here tonight, and thank you for the meal. It was very nice, so I appreciate that. Like Chris said, I'm from the Marine Corp League. I'm actually from a detachment called the Southeast Marines of Indiana, and we are located in Floyd's Knobs. And we're part of the Department of Indiana Marine Corps League. Now, everybody's wondering, what is the Marine Corps League? In 1923, we had a general by the name of John Lejeune. And matter of fact, there's a Camp Lejeune is named after John Lejeune. And John Lejeune went to Congress, and we're one of the only sanctioned organizations by the United States Congress. And we were formed in 1923. So some of the things that we actually do is, I was talking with Chris, and it seems like we have parallel paths. Because some of our focus is children as well. One of the big programs that the Marine Corps is involved with, and everybody knows about, is called Toys for Tots. So normally the Toys for Tots program falls into the Marine Corps Reserve. So if you have a local Marine Corps Reserve unit, there, like in Indianapolis, for example, that and Fort Knox, they're the two closest Marine Corps Reserve units. So those units are responsible for Toys for Tots in that area. If there's not a Marine Corps Reserve unit, then it falls into the responsibility of the Marine Corps League. And so in southern Indiana, this last year, we were responsible for the first time for Toys for Tots in southern Indiana. And to give you an idea, we raised over 14,000 toys in southern Indiana this past year. We distributed toys to 8,319 children in Clark, Harrison, Floyd, Scott, Washington, and Crawford County. So, like I said, I know you're about youth, and so are we. So, you know, it's interesting to see, actually be here to speak with you about that tonight. So, our Toys for Tots campaigns actually kick off on October 16th, and we normally run until October 14th. Now, it's funny because this year we did something a little different. There's nothing like watching a bunch of Marines dressed up like Santa Claus, and then a couple of us dressed up as elves. And then we went to a couple of the children's homes, and we actually passed toys out on Christmas Eve. So, you know, but that's something that, with this being our first year in southern Indiana doing it, we decided that we were going to do something a little special. We're going to start a new tradition. So it was a tradition we started. So next year, we'll be doing the same thing on Christmas Eve morning. We'll be going out and delivering toys once again. Normally, the way Toys for Tots works for us is we collect the toys, and we actually turn it over to the Salvation Army. And then the Salvation Army is the one who's responsible for helping us distribute the toys. So we do have a partnership with them. To give you an idea of the Southeast Marines, we've only been in existence since March of last year. We currently have 75 members. It's amazing how many Marines are in southern Indiana. I mean, you can't shake a stick without hitting a Marine somewhere. So there's a lot of Marines in southern Indiana, and our region, our detachment actually serves 5 counties. So we're looking at, you know, doing different things with other organizations as well. Some of the upcoming events that we have, we actually over here at Grays Wells on May 18th, we're actually having a car show. And so if you feel free to want to see some of the antique cars that we're bringing in, because right now I'm the adjutant, so I get to see all the registrant, which is like the secretary of the detachment. So right now I'm responsible for registering everybody. So right now we've got about 47 different registrations. So there's some pretty neat vehicles that are going to be over there, and motorcycles. There's some vintage motorcycles that are coming into our car show as well. And then on June the 2nd, we're actually having a motorcycle ride that will leave the American Legion post on Paley Pike. It's post number 42. and we're raising money for that. Our money goes for, we have a couple of things that we're actually raising money for. Is one, we raise money for Wounded Warriors project, so we give a certain portion to the Wounded Warriors. The next thing that we actually raise money for is we do scholarships. Last year we gave out $7,500 in academic scholarships to the 3 local high schools. Well, we tried to do one high school, let me rephrase that. We tried to do one of the high schools and we didn't get any response back, so we took all our money and gave it to the other 2. So we actually give scholarships every year to the high schools. So we raise money for that. Because, I don't know if everybody knows it or not, but all 3 of our major high schools in southern Indiana have our junior ROTC programs in them. The Air Force is at Jeffersonville, and we have 2 Navy junior ROTC units at New Albany and Floyd Central. So we try to do something, and it's a little interesting the way we do it is because we target the individual when we select who's getting the scholarships. We look at the individuals, not the ones who got tons of scholarships already. We always look at the ones that's going to make a difference whether they stay in school or not. So that's how we do our selection criteria on our scholarships, and and we make them write an essay and about patriotism, and it's amazing. We just got done reading these within the last 2 weeks. It's amazing how patriotic our young people really are. I mean, I think they actually understand it, what it means to be an American. So. So we do scholarships, so some of the fundraising, most of the fundraising we do goes for a specific purpose. And we put that money away for that purpose. So this year, we're actually giving away about $10,000 in scholarships from what we did last year. So let's see, what else can I tell you about the Marine Corps League? Marine Corps, now, somebody asked me, says, do I have to be a Marine to join the Marine Corps League? No. We actually have associate members. So, and we call them Friends of the Corps. So, we open our doors up to just about, the people who want to help out and actually participate in the community. So we actually do a lot of community service activities. We work with the kids. This past year, we took one of the football teams and we actually did a community service project with them. So we're trying to teach the children, the kids today, what community service really is. And we got another community service project coming up with New Albany this 2 weeks, where we're going to take some of the New Albany high school students and we're going to do a community service project with them as well. So we're trying to get a little bit more involved and with what we're doing with the kids in the community. And we do have a Young Marines program, which from ages 8 to 18, which we're just starting. We haven't had our official first meeting yet. We're looking at doing that sometime in August, because right now we're forming it. But we're opening the door for kids between 8 and 18, just to give them something to do, give them some direction. Give them, we have regional and national competitions we can take them to. So we have a wide variety of activities for kids as well. And as you can see, we're pretty busy. So we started off, there was 7 of us last January. 7 of us decided to form a detachment, and we got together and got our national recognition from DC in March of last year, and now we're 75 members strong. And so we're growing pretty rapid. And then Chris asked me an interesting question tonight. What's your demographic? What's your average age? Our average age is 44. So we have Marines who, matter of fact, we have a Marine who just came off active duty 3 months ago, and he participates. We see him at every meeting, every time we have something going on, he's always there rolling up his sleeves and jumping in and helping. So we go from 20 to, we have Marines from World War II. So we go from 20 all the way up to 80 something. And it's a unique experience seeing that much Marine Corps history when we're together and we're talking. If you think about how many battles have been from World War II until Afghanistan, there's been a lot. and we have all these guys sitting in one room together. I mean, that's pretty interesting conversations at times. So, sorry?
And they're still brothers.
And they're still brothers. It's once they say about the Marine Corps, and I met a brother Marine here tonight. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And that's something that, one of the things that the Marine Corps brand into you, you're never an ex-Marine or a former Marine, you're always a Marine. So it is a band. Now this organization, it's a true band of brothers. And we just come together doing service. You know, we're no longer wearing the uniform, but we're still banding together to do other things within the community. So once again, I appreciate you inviting me here to speak to you and letting you know who we are. We're, like I said, we're new in the neighborhood. If there's anything that you have going on that you need our support, all you gotta do is make a phone call. We helped an organization not too long ago, and they put a sign out in front when we showed up, said the Marines are landing, and it was pretty funny. So we got a kick out of that sign. So if there's anything that you need from us to help you on some of your activities, we're a phone call away, and I'm sure we'll have several of us that will show up and help participate and support you in the activities that you have as well. Okay, thank you.
Before you step down, you would be remiss if you didn't inform these people where you went to school.
Oh, I did forget that. I did forget that. And I hear that I'm in good company. I am a Purdue Boilermaker. I'm a little upset with my sons. Both of them, I'm an electrical engineer from Purdue, and both of my sons decided to go to the speed school. So it's been and then when the youngest one said, well, I'm going to speed school too, I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And then to make matters worse, my wife, our house is truly divided. She's an IU grad. So she started out at Purdue, decided to go to IU with her. She has a twin sister, so she went to IU with her twin. So she graduated from IU. I'm Purdue, and then we got U of L grad, and hopefully another U of L grad in 4 years. So we'll see how that works out.
What year did you graduate?
From Purdue?
Purdue.
Actually, I finished, one of the things that I actually finished while I was on active duty in the Marine Corps. And I'm proud to say this about Purdue University. Purdue University was one of the first universities that offered service members classes that you could take and transfer them back.
That was before my time. I just couldn't.
Before your time? I actually graduated in '88.
Nothing before your time.
Not even like. Not even one.
What year did you graduate?
Graduated
32.
50?
91.
1791. Yeah, 1791.
Did you go through engineering school?
Yes.
What school?
I'm double E, electrical engineer.
Mechanical?
Electrical engineer. Electrical.
Industrial?
Electrical.
Aeronautical.
That's an interesting school.
Took some electrical courses too.
Yep. That, matter of fact, it was funny because while I was on active duty, there was a period of time when I actually went to, when I was in the Marine Corps, I actually went to Purdue for 2 semesters. And then, so I went back out into the fleet, and so I got stationed in Quantico, Virginia, and then Purdue says, well, you gotta go take these classes, and the only place we're gonna take them from is Virginia Tech. So I had to drive an hour and a half every night for a semester down to Blacksburg. From Quantico to Blacksburg is an hour and a half drive, and I would drive every night down to Blacksburg just to take those 2 classes so that I could graduate from Purdue. So, any other questions for me? Yes, ma'am.
When did you say the car show is?
Car show is May 18th.
Okay.
It's right over here at Gray Wells. Gray Wells.
You were telling me your oldest son, once he finishes these finals tonight, is embarking on
Yeah, my oldest son, he's following in the family footsteps. He actually leaves for OCS in the Marine Corps in October. So, my wife's not real happy with the family business, but he's leaving in October, and then my youngest one, depending on how his football career goes, he's also discussing on Marine Corps too. I was very fortunate, and I'll say this, I was blessed. When I was on active duty, and my family we're a strong Marine Corps family. There was 9 of us on active duty at one time. Uncles and first cousins. And it was, it seemed like every time I went to, Marine Corps is small. They don't have too many bases. And it seems like every time you check into a base, you had a family member sitting there waiting on you. So, it was good and bad. I mean, to this day, we're all getting ready to hit 50, and we're still just as close and as tight as we were when we were 10 and 12 years old. And it's because, we spent most of our lives together in the Marine Corps, and it was funny because during Desert Storm, there was 5 of us in Desert Storm together. And I was a satellite technician, so I was responsible for relaying all the messages home from from my 4 cousins. So I'd always get the messages back home to them, and what did Mom say? And this is what your mom said. So